2, 1.
Here we go!
Welcome to Inside Beauty by Drugstore News. I am Andrea Fallin, founder of Strategy Concepts, and I'm so excited to be here with Nyakio Grieco. Nyakio is an extremely successful entrepreneur, and she's using her success to create opportunities for other Black and Brown founders. She got started 20 years ago with the launch of Nyakio Beauty. Nyakio Beauty is clean and green, and it's worth noting that this launch was before consumers were demanding ingredient transparency. Nyakio is also the founder of Relevant Your Skin Scene, which is available at 13 Lune. 13 Lune is a beauty platform that puts Black and Brown founded brands front and center. Nyakio is the co-founder of 13 Lune. Nyakio, thank you so much for being here. Welcome to Inside Beauty.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here today.
So let's start talking about 13 Lune. How does it bring Black and Brown founders front and center, and how did it get started?
Yes. So 13 Lune, co-founded by myself and my business partner, Patrick Herning, was created in 2020. While we were in the midst of a global pandemic, as well as racial reckoning, as a beauty founder at that time of 18 plus years, I found myself showing up on all of the lists, top Black-owned businesses to shop and to follow. And while Nyakio had exited to Unilever, what I found was there were so many people reaching out to me in support of the brand. And while it was lovely to receive that recognition, it was really built on the precipice of this heartbreaking time. And it was sort of at that moment that Patrick and I, who had long been discussing ways to come together to really celebrate diversity and inclusion long before the racial reckoning, it was just sort of this aha moment where I thought, as we were seeing, beautiful initiatives like the 15% pledge and Pull Up for Change happening, and many people, racing to be the first to pledge, et cetera. In my mind, I knew not only as a Black beauty founder, but also as a Black consumer, that Black and Brown people make such a huge contribution to the beauty industry, have, helped to create a multi-billion-dollar industry. And I felt that we deserved more than 15% of the shelf space. The other sort of moment that I was having was, people reaching out and saying, hey, can I use your products? I don't look like you. And it became very important to me to debunk the myth that Black and Brown people only make products for ourselves, as we use products made by people who don't look like us every single day. And as I was starting to kind of shop these lists, I found that there were all of these beautiful brands using clean, non-toxic ingredients, beautiful packaging, but most importantly, amazing, rich founder stories. And then when I would go to find their distribution, it was either D2C or they didn't have, a lot of followers, and it made no sense to me. So that's when Patrick and I came together and said, what if we were going to, create the first of its kind, truly inclusive beauty retail platform and make our own pledge that 90% of the brands would be created by people of color and 10% would be dedicated to fostering allyship, because within the beauty industry, Black and Brown founders have many allies, and true inclusivity is actually all of us coming together.
That's amazing. And there's a lot to congratulate you on, starting with the Unilever deal and the launch of 13 Lune.
Thank you.
So 13 Lune has beautiful products on the platform, beautifully, ingredients are very clean. Do you consider the brands to be prestige? Do you offer masstige and mass brands?
Yes. So, the entire 13 Lune experience is very elevated and premium, but true inclusion also means meeting people exactly where they're at. And a lot of that comes down to price sensitivity. So while we may have $400 serums or really expensive face masks, we also have products that are $14, products that are $9, because we want everybody to be able to shop 13 Lune.
And who are your shoppers? What are they experiencing, or what are their expectations from 13 Lune?
Yeah. So, first and foremost, I think what really sets 13 Lune apart is that we are a mission-based business. And our shoppers really include people who are very focused on making their beauty shopping more meaningful. So across the board, across every generation, we have amazing, amazing consumers that keep coming back. Also, I would say the commonality is that everybody wants the chance to discover. And what we really truly offer is the first in class experience of discovering brands that you may not have otherwise heard of. We have brands that are recognizable and larger brands that have been around for a while. But what we also find is that when their consumer comes to shop 13 Lune because they want to make a contribution to helping making the beauty industry more inclusive, it actually has a ripple effect with other brands. If we have a promotion going on with Olaplex, what we then find is that all of our other hair care brands that other people may not have heard of start to see an uptick in sales as well.
That's great. And what does the discovery process look like from a brand perspective? And what are you looking for in a brand partner?
Yeah, I always say that people buy into people before they buy into product. So obviously we have to have amazing products that deliver on their promises and efficacy. But, the way the process is run is that we have an incredible buying team led by Janelle Freeman, who helped build beauty at Net-a-Porter before coming to 13 Lune. And so her and her team, really handle the vetting process. They really, first and foremost, look at the founder. What's their story? What's their reason for being? How authentic is this brand to what they're, wanting to present to the world? And then they do a deep dive on ingredients, on texture, really curating the assortment so beautifully so there's no cannibalization of any of the other brands. And then we take them through the process of testing. We have what we call our own internal beauty vanguard. So we'll sample products out to other people within our vanguard, which includes celebrities, beauty editors, et cetera, enthusiasts that really, really love product. And then once they're taken through that process, then we really work with the brands to strategize their launch. How are we going to make sure that people know your story and discover your products?
That's great. And what are you seeing from your shoppers? What's trending right now?
Well, I definitely love the idea that people are starting to buy fragrance online in a way that, I think that COVID and the lockdown has really helped the fragrance enthusiast trust the process of buying fragrance online. So we're growing that category rapidly. Makeup. And I think being an online business, it's easy to see the effects. It's easy to see the results. And so we're seeing an uptick there, as well as skincare. I love that as a skincare founder myself, that people are really educating themselves around the benefits of skincare, but for all skin tones and all skin types. And, even within Relevant Your Skin Scene, the product that I just recently launched as a founder, I really did a deep dive into how do we, not only using the data that I'm receiving from 13 Lune, but also how can we better serve a consumer that's been far underserved for far too long. And when I look at products like our Soul Tone Resurface and Glow solution, which is a 5-acid toner, I know as a consumer that when I would go to shelf often and I would see certain peels, certain acids, things that really help to exfoliate the skin and give you a natural glow. When I would go to look at the ingredient listing or I would look at the campaigns behind these brands, I didn't see anybody that looked like me, which led me to believe that product wouldn't work on my skin. And Black and brown people historically have had more sensitivity in skin. So when you're looking at these Black and brown founders who are creating these amazing, efficacious, science-led brands, and they work on our skin tone, that they're going to work for everyone.
It's amazing. And you started with e-commerce, but you recently announced in September the launch at 600 JC Penney stores.
Yeah.
So congratulations on that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. Can you tell us about this? Like, how did you and JC Penney get this partnership together?
Yes. How did we fall in love?
Yes, that's a good way.
It's so amazing. When Patrick and I launched 13lune.com in December of 2020, only 24 months ago, we always knew that this would be a full omni-channel business. We did not believe that retail was dead, even though all of the stores, for an imaginable amount of time were closed. We knew that retail would be back. And 90 days after we launched our platform, we got a call from JC Penney through our head of business development, John Frierson, and it was love at first sight. I mean, we were so aligned on creating a hyper inclusive retail space and wanting to better serve a consumer that had been underserved for far too long. And, you know, when they were building JCP Beauty and looking for a partner, it just was a match made. And we have had such success. You know, we started with 10 pilot doors in 2021, and now we are rolling out 600 doors, which will be done by second quarter.
That's so great. And what would a 13 Lune look like in a JC Penney store? Is there like a specific square footage? Do you have dedicated beauty consultants?
Yeah, so we do have dedicated beauty consultants. We call them 13 Lune ambassadors, as well as the entire, you know, JCP beauty consultants. There's 3,000 nationwide who are trained in all products within the beauty space. And the 13 Lune assortment is really reflective. It's an opportunity for our platform to come to life. There's pictures of every founder at shelf, QR codes so that you can learn the founder book stories and you can learn about the brands and the products. It's beautifully branded. It's, you know, the JC Penney beauty spaces are, you know, while they're not all the exact same square footage, they definitely are all open and well lit and an incredible assortment of products. And then within the 13 Lune space, where we're about 25% of the JCP beauty space and growing, you really, really get the opportunity to kind of have that in real life experience of what it is that we built as a platform first.
It sounds incredible. Will we see any partnerships with any other retailers down the road?
So currently we are so excited about this partnership with JC Penney and having this opportunity to grow with America's oldest retailer in 600 stores nationwide. So that's, you know, really our focus now, as well as our soon to be flagship store.
That's great. And we're excited to hear about this flagship store, which will be in January, you're opening up, and it's in LA. So how did you pick the neighborhood in LA and why LA?
So I've lived in LA for 26 years. I actually live in the Hancock Park area near Larchmont Village, so I'll be able to walk to our store. And, you know, it was an interesting sort of dive, and a lot of research went into what location. We looked at several different areas around the city. Of course, I was partial to Hancock Park and Larchmont Village because I've been a part of this community since 2008. And when I say community, you know, Hancock Park is this really interesting neighborhood where it feels like good old American suburbia right in the middle of the city. And Larchmont Village has historically been a place where small businesses have long survived, where people really commune on this boulevard. But what I love the most about it is that the trend that's really happening on Larchmont Boulevard is it's becoming LA's beauty row. So we will sit alongside ally brands, ally stores, and yet still offer an assortment of discovery. And what we've learned is the beauty consumer loves to come to Larchmont Boulevard. So we're so excited to be a part of it.
It sounds amazing, and it sounds so fitting with the 13 Lune brand that supports community. So we can't wait to see the store, and we appreciate the opportunity to hear about it and to share with our readers.
Yes. As we get to that opening day, I can't wait for people to really experience, you know, within our 13 Lune JC Penney stores. As I said, it gives you this opportunity to have this in real life experience. And then with flagship, we're just going to take it even further by being able to event and this being, you know, LA is such a destination for so many around the country, and for people to come and experience the magic that we're building at 13 Lune.
Well, congratulations on all of your success. And
thank you.
We look forward to hearing more from you.
Oh, thank you so much. And thank you for having me. And we really appreciate your support.